Welcome to Trenton 365 Live, coming to you from Mercer County Community College's Trenton Hall in historic downtown Trenton, New Jersey. You can send me an email, trenton365show@gmail.com, and find me on social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Trenton365. So let's get started right away with R.E.A.C.H, and we're going to be dealing with the recreation of R.E.A.C.H, which is R, and we're going to be talking about biking a little bit. I also encourage you to make sure that you take a couple of moments and go to two different Facebook pages. Capital City Rollers, all things human powered with wheels, and also the Trenton Cycling Revolution page. There you can find out information about some of the items that are taking place here in the city of Trenton regarding biking, and also opportunities for you to meet up and do bike tours, bike rides, etc. For those of you who can kind of see the images that are on the screen as well, that first image is a bike that was captured at R.E.A.C.H Theater that was donated by the Boys and Girls Club of Mercer County. They have two different retail locations, one on Spruce Street in Lawrence Township and also one in Ewing Township in the Capitol Plaza. There you can make a donation of a bike, and you can also pick up refurbished bikes and also get your bike maintained as well. Shout out to Wills Kinsley and the crew at both of those locations. Back to bicycle, the bicycle-faced performance just took place at R.E.A.C.H Theater. It was part of the Solo Flights, and I want to give a shout out to Hannah Van Skyver, who is the one-person performer who did an amazing show to a packed house that I attended on Sunday for the matinee. It's really odd when you think about bicycle face was actually a term that was given back in the early 19th century, and mainly it was to discourage women from riding bikes. If you look on the Wikipedia pages or do some search for it, you'll see that they talk about a flushness that will come across your face, a change in your demeanor, and also your skin complexion, because back then the whole issue was that you wanted to be as pristine and alabaster and white as possible. Elements of racism even in bicycling. Interesting situation that we're living with here in the United States of America. But I also want you to maintain the ideology that bicycling here in Trenton is a form of transportation for several of the people who live here in the city. In addition to that, it's also a great form of recreation, and it's one of the best ways to get around to see some of the things here in Trenton that you can't get by driving in a car or riding on a bus. You take the Trenton Battle Monument, for example. Recently, bike lanes were just created to go around there and finish the bike loop. In addition to that, there's different segments of the population who are interested in creating bike lanes, bike paths, and places for their bikes to be maintained, like public pumps, etc. Well, I want to take a couple of moments here and again encourage you to go to the Boys and Girls Club of Mercer County. Has two locations, one in Lawrence Township on Spruce Street and another on Ewing at the Capitol Complex, and there you can make a donation of a bike, get your bike maintained, and you can also purchase bikes there. I think it would be awesome if we started an initiative to see if we can get all of the young adults in the city of Trenton to be riding bicycles. Let's see if we can do that. I'm Jacques Howard. You are listening and watching the Trenton 365 show from Mercer County Community College, Trenton Hall. welcome back to Trenton365 Live. You can actually see on the table we've got some different things, some props, so to speak, and I want you to be cognizant of those. So we got a custom painted helmet here because we're going to be encouraging people to get more involved with bike safety here in the city of Trenton. Because if we're going to be encouraging people to bike, we should be encouraging them to do it in a proper manner. In addition to that, we'll be talking briefly about Enokin Fitness. Shout out to Nacone Martin and her fitness brand and the forthcoming event with Trust Enokin. We also have a prop here from Harry's Razors. There'll be information up on the Facebook page and the website for how you can utilize the coupon or the discount code to make purchases via Trenton365. And then we also have some caffeinated water here from Jersey Shore Cosmetics. Shout out to them. And also we've got an unopened bottle of Equality Vodka, which is based out of San Francisco, California. And Equality Vodka is making a big push for LGBTQ rights, donating 20% of all proceeds to LGBTQ organizations. We'll make sure that we get that right as I work with that tongue twister. But now it's time to jump back into talking a bit about the environment, the environment. So if you can see on the screen that there's a picture of a sidewalk that is, for anyone who's looking at it, can get a full understanding that this is not acceptable. Now, the question that I've received was, what was there first, the sidewalk or the pole? Which is pretty interesting, but either way, whomever did the work there could have spoken to someone and said, hey, can we get this fixed? As I posted on social media, could you imagine if you were someone who was visually impaired and you were on a sidewalk, you possibly could walk right into the pole, or there's a tripping concern about the change in the pavement. So we here in the city of Trenton, especially being the capital of New Jersey, we have to do a better job of creating some sort of a foundation, a structural base that others in the community, not only in Mercer County, but throughout the state, can look to us and say, hey, look, this is the standard for what we're trying to do. So consider that when you're driving around in your car and when you're riding your bikes. Are we doing things that are ADA compliant? Are we following those rules? If you have more questions and you want me to get involved with that, you can. Send me an email, Trenton365show@gmail.com. I do want to transition and talk more about the environment. Recently, I had author Maya K. Van Rossum, who is also the Delaware River Keeper. And the website is DelawareRiverKeeper.org. It's an organization that focuses on the health and sustainability of the river, the complete Delaware River. So Maya and her organization are trying to educate the general public about the importance of the water source, what we can do to clean up certain areas, and in addition to that, what's going on in this region with the different pipelines and specifically with the potential of fracking happening here in the region as well. But I encourage you to reach out to Maya K. Van Rossum, author, and also known as the Delaware River Keeper. The website is DelawareRiverKeeper.org. Sticking with environment, you can see the image of some City of Trenton Public Works employees doing a cleanup recently in Franklin Park. What they were doing was removing some debris, leaves, and trash that was left over after some of the storms, etc. I want to give a big shout out to the Public Works Department and the employees there. Oftentimes, our employees here in the city of Trenton get a bad rap for the work that they're doing, but just like most things, it's generally a small percentage of the people who are doing those not so nice things. So I'd like to give them a public shout out to the City of Trenton Public Works Department and the work that they've been doing in the Franklin Park section of Trenton, New Jersey. I am supportive of what you're doing, and if I can assist you in any way, please reach out to me as well. You're doing some fantastic work. I understand that there's been budgetary cuts as well as person power, but you're doing a fantastic job, and I encourage you to continue what you're doing and for more people to get involved in the process of building a better and cleaner city of Trenton, New Jersey. I'm Jacques Howard. You're watching Trenton 365 Live.
Let's stay here. Let's stay here in love.
And welcome back to Trenton365 Live. You can send me an email, trenton365show@gmail.com. We're now on to A, which represents art. And I want to give a big shout out to Trenton Coffee House and Vinyl owner Abdul, who actually allowed myself and filmmaker Jeff Stewart to combine together and partner on an event called Screen Test 2. This was done in partnership with Philadelphia Theater Week, or Philly Theater Week. This is the second consecutive year that Philly Theater Week has had a presence in Trenton, New Jersey, and I'm glad to say that I was one of the producers of this event. What we had is several artists come in and rewrite or reread lines from famous movies. You can see an image of Rodney Jenwright, who is one of the actors who portrayed there. In addition to that, Jersey Shore Cosmetics and also some adult beverages from Libby Liquors were sampled and tasted there as well. Trenton Coffee House and Vinyl is located on Cass Street, just off of 129, and it's a coffee shop that's open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., offering some of the best in-house roasted coffee that you'll find in the region. So again, shout out to Abdul and the group there. Let's transition with the art. And I also want to give a big shout out to Adrian Colon, who is a local filmmaker and a comedian as well. He is leaving the area. He's searching and chasing his dream to make it big, so to speak. He's headed out to Los Angeles. He'll be leaving shortly. But I had the time to see his last performance here on the East Coast for some time. I visited him at the Raven, where he performed with several comics, including Dan Regan. He performed to a full packed house, which was a very lively crowd. So a big shout out and a congratulations and best support to Adrian Colon. It's now time to transition to C, which is civic engagement. My neighborhood where I live, the Franklin Park section of Trenton, has a park that has also been designed by the Frederick Law Olmsted Group. More information is coming about that as I reach out to the Olmsted organization to find out what we can do to help with the maintenance and the upkeep and the revitalization of this beautiful triangular shaped park in Trenton's South Ward. On the third Saturday of each month, in partnership with Mercer Street Friends, the local civic association, Franklin Park's Northeast Block Association, does a food distribution. This is a free event, and it's nothing major. All it is a bunch of people from our civic association coming together with food that has been donated by Mercer Street Friends, and it's given out to those who are in need in the local community. Some people are walking by, some people are driving by, but the most important thing is that there is a need for food for men, women, and children here in Trenton, New Jersey. And organizations like Mercer Street Friends, in partnership with Franklin Park's Northeast Block Association, is doing our part to help and assist with dealing with food justice. If you need more information, you can search the hashtag #FoodFriends or visit the website, mercerstreetfriends.org. You're listening and watching the Trenton365 live presentation from Mercer County Community College in downtown Trenton, New Jersey in the Trenton Hall. We'll be back shortly.
Early bird, eager to start my day.
I'm a voyager of the road.
I am the captain of the Enterprise. This is my ship.
I keep America moving.
I am part of the team.
Yo soy parte de la familia de NFI.
But I still come home to my real family every day.
And welcome back to Trenton365 Live. We are now finishing up with H, which stands for health. As most of you know, I am super excited about being as fit as I can for the rest of my life. This is an ideology that, not that I'm going to do anything that's a one-shot deal, but how do I sustain a healthy lifestyle for the rest of my life? And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Kevin Kidda, who's a chiropractor in Morrisville, Pennsylvania. More on that later. But the idea behind being fit for the rest of my life is to make sure that whatever it is that I'm doing to maintain my health is something that I will be able to do throughout my life. Oftentimes people think about doing these major, magnificent changes, like they're not going to enjoy certain types of food, or they're going to run or do certain types of exercise, super strenuous exercises. Well, more than likely, to be able to sustain that for the rest of your life might be difficult. So what I've done over my years of trying to educate myself on what works best for my body is to come up with a plan that works for me. And one thing that I found with this is that just like exercise being an individual sport, there's also an individual way that you can build your body to be better and for your health to sustain for the rest of your life. I'll be sharing lots of information about that in the future, but that's one of the reasons why I'm glad to represent Enokin Fitness. And you can find that on the Etsy shop, Enokin Fitness. You can find out how you can follow me there. But in addition to that, you can get a discount on a purchase of $20 or more. Just use the code WELCOME-JACQUES at checkout. So regarding the health portion, recently I was at an event at Mercer Street Friends, which they were showing healthy choices for different prepared meals. So there was a salad, there was a soup, and there were some other options utilizing kale and vegetables and making it all vegan. In addition to that, the Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield organization was on site also. And you can see the image of me getting my glucose checked and also my blood pressure checked as well. All things so far look like they're good. I'm thankful for that. But I encourage you also to think about, hey, what are you doing to maintain your health and to also check your health? Because oftentimes, especially in the people of color, the Black or African American and Latino Hispanic communities, men especially have a tendency to not want to check on their health until something happens. So I want to be a part of that movement to encourage men, women, and children to take care of their bodies in any way that they can. That includes eating a healthier, balanced diet, getting regular exercise, getting your eyes, your ears, your throat, your heart, and your vital organs checked on a regular, consistent basis. Maybe it's more than once a year, depending on what your particular doctor says. But let's just take the step to do that. Because if we really want to show the ultimate form of love, we have to be here for the people who we love. So Trenton365 is all supportive of health and nutrition, and we'll be launching lots of different ways for you to get involved and to experience some of these things, whether it's from biking and walking in groups, or a yoga class, or some other fitness class. We're going to be sharing that information for you, so stay tuned for that. Now I want to talk about a few things that are coming up on the calendar before we end up tonight's program. I'm part of a group called Live Golf. So Paloma Santiago is a local PGA Tour professional golfer, and she has a nonprofit organization called Live Golf. Live Golf wants to grow the game of golf and wants to share that with as many people as possible. So we look for information on that as well, but you can do an internet search for livegolf.org. Also, the Library Boxes of Trenton initiative launches every third Saturday of the month from 1 to 3 p.m. We have a podcast that takes place at Classics Books and Gifts in downtown Trenton, New Jersey on Lafayette Street. LBOT, hashtag LBOT, L-B-O-T, Library Boxes of Trenton. If you'd like to know more about that, you can send an email, libraryboxesoftrenton@gmail.com. I also want to make sure that in the process of thinking about the future, let's think about forthcoming and future marketplaces. Most people can remember a time where they've heard me talk about building an opportunity for artists to make money and to make a living. Shout out to R.E.A.C.H, who's doing some amazing things in Vermont, but it pains me to say that why do R.E.A.C.H have to leave this region for when he is as talented as he is for him to be recognized? More on that later. But another forthcoming marketplace is the business of cannabis. Now, for many years, we can understand the racial ties with cannabis and hemp, and now there's issues with CBD, cannabinoids, etc. I'm going to be working with lots of different groups in the cannabis industry, such as the Trenton Cannabis Community, WoFlow, and others, to find out more about this industry and how all people can be involved in this forthcoming marketplace. Because, folks, it is coming. So stay tuned for more information about cannabis, more information about library boxes of Trenton, and also about golf via Live Golf. I'm Jacques Howard, and you've been listening and watching Trenton 365 Live. Have a great and wonderful month, and we'll talk soon.